Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com, and obviously by now everybody knows what happened this weekend at the Trump rally with an assassination attempt, and I spent most of the time after it happened sharing information about the photos, the photographers that were taking them, and what the photographers did in those moments after or during and after the whole thing to get the shots that they needed, because that's their job. Now, this is from a photographic standpoint. This is not about politics at the moment. Please do not turn that into politics in the comment section. We are talking about photography, breaking it down like I did on Instagram all this weekend, sharing my thoughts. Also, I spoke with some of the photographers, or one of the photographers, Evan Vucci. We spoke via Instagram about some stuff, and obviously he and Doug Mills have gone on to TV to talk about what happened and how they did it, what they shot with, how they reacted in the moment. There's some other photographers we're going to talk about right now, so let's talk about it. Let's get into these images. We've got 4 images on the screen right now. I'm going to go into it in a second, but the photographers we're going to talk about are the 4 photographers, the press photographers that were allowed in the buffer zone. The buffer zone is what is right in front of the stage. We call that a pit in music. It's the buffer zone when it comes to photographing at political events. In that zone, you had 4 media photographers that were allowed there. You had Evan Vucci, who shoots for the AP. You have Doug Mills, who shoots for the New York Times, who I've sat next to shooting during the World Series a few years ago. You had Anna Moneymaker, who shoots for Getty, and you have Javin Botsford, who is shooting for the Washington Post. Now, they are the photographers that were approved to be in there. There was also an intern for Trump. I found out that Trump's main photographer quit a few weeks ago, and they've been giving interns the cameras to go in and shoot. And I'll talk more about that in just a minute. But this is about photojournalism. This is about how you react at the time of something to you either get it or you don't. And we've got video to bring up. There's Fox News videos, that's where the feed's from. We're going to go through the videos, but this top left photo is Evan Vucci's. To the right here is Doug Mills. Bottom left is Doug Mills' photo that captured the bullet going by, and then Moneymaker's photo down here on the bottom right of Trump on the ground shooting through. Actually, this one looks like it's cropped a little too tight. I pulled all of these off the internet. These are newsworthy. We can talk about it, but I think that one's a little too tight because the one I saw did have the officers, the Secret Service's feet in there, but we're just going to go with what we have right now. These photos are insane in the moment. There's Pulitzer Prize winning photos here. I know which one I think is a Pulitzer photo. I'm going to go with the top left-hand corner. This is Evan Vucci's photo. But you know what? Let's do the breakdown of this happening. Not this one. I want to go to this video. This is as it's happening. I'm going to actually mute the video because I don't want to hear it. So we're going to see what happens when they pull back and watch the photographers move. This is what photojournal... Oh, Jesus. It's just so horrible to watch. Okay, they jump on stage. The camera pulls back. Now, watch bottom corner. You've got Doug Mills here with the hat on. Doug moves directly to the left. You've got Evan Vucci, who jumped up from the background. He's coming in. You've got Javin right here. He's coming in. And by the way, he was wearing Meta Ray-Ban glasses, and the Washington Post has posted the first-person perspective from him. So photojournalists hear the shots, and they run directly to the stage here to make it happen. I don't know where Moneymaker is in here. She is obviously over there somewhere because she was in the mix of it getting the shots. You can see Javin right here. You can see he's wearing the glasses, the Meta glasses. He's holding the camera up. He's also taller. You've got Doug with the hat on. You've got Vucci looking through the viewfinder. You'll notice different ways of shooting. Holding the camera up. They all do that in one way or another, to hold the camera up to shoot at some point. And then they also look through the camera because... obviously, I think you get better framing that way, and I'm curious when I do get to ask Evan the shot that he took that I think is the Pulitzer Prize winning photo, was he looking through the viewfinder at that time or not? So let's keep rolling. Keep in mind, they are running towards the stage when there is an active shooter. They are doing this. They're putting their, and then they move back to go to the right-hand side. The reason, and this is what Doug and Evan and everybody has said so far, is they move to the right-hand side knowing that on the right-hand side of the stage, that is the exit for Trump. There's always multiple exits. And all of this stuff when you're in the pit, I learned this when I was out there, the pit, the buffer zone, when I was out there with Bernie, that there's always, you got to look for where the exit's going to be. The cars are off to the right, so they were going to come off of the stage to the right. And so that's why you saw Doug and Evan and Moneymaker and Javin all move over to the right-hand side. And this is where those photos start to happen. This is where they're saying the shooter's down, no more shooter. They start to pick him up, and the photographers are still running around trying to figure out what to do, what direction. They're back to the left. I think that might be Moneymaker there, who just went by with the hat on. So now they're back to this side. The reason they moved to the other side is they were getting yelled at by everybody to get out of the way. That's just the thing. You got to be very careful. But when you got to be very careful in these situations, obviously. So you can see, pulled back even further, Javin has multiple cameras. Doug and Evan are both looking through. They're looking for angles. There's a big flag up above. And that's the reason I think, and Javin's making sure his meta glasses were on. I just saw him do that over here on the left. So they're continually looking around for stuff. They're about to pick him up. They're waiting. I mean, this is crazy. It's just crazy because your heart's going to be beating, but you're in shooting mode. And by shooting, let me understand. You're in photograph mode. You got to remember, and Evan said this in an interview with The Guardian, that you're there to do a job. Stay calm, compose and expose. I mean, I said that's me paraphrasing. I always say compose and expose. You have to stay calm as much as you can and lock into the zone. So here they are. This is where those images are going to go. Trump decides, okay, I'm gonna pump my fist. I mean, crazy that he was able to do that for multiple reasons. Like, one, for security reasons, and two, to have the wherewithal after being hit in the ear from something to go and do this. So these are where those photos are being made. You can see that down here in the bottom, they're holding the cameras up. That's Evan holding the camera up. Javin was holding the camera up. Moneymaker's here somewhere. And now they're taking them off the stage. And the photographers will follow through. Now, all right, let's go back to the images and just say this. The photographers had no cell coverage for 45 minutes, but they were live transmitting, most likely using Sony devices, because Sony has a new device out that can transmit this stuff instantly while you're shooting. It's instantly transmitting back to the desk. That's why the stuff is able to get out there so fast. It's absolutely insane that could be done. So I don't need to break down the other video because that video broke everything down. The point here is I found out that the Trump intern, they ran out of the buffer zone when the shooting happened. They reacted differently than the full-time photojournalists. No fault to them. I'm not putting fault on the Trump's photographer, the intern, for doing that. No photos came out of the Trump camp from this. Only the photojournalists' photos came out from this. Not saying they didn't come out like physically take. I don't think they actually took photos because they ran away. They ran out. That is the difference between photojournalists that are seasoned professionals and someone that is learning or is an intern. I'm not putting them down. Understand that. I'm not putting them down. I'm just pointing out the differences between the two. You have professionals that have been out there for a long time. I don't know much about Anna Moneymaker, but she got the gig. She studied she was in the New York Times, at the New York Times prior, and studied under Doug Mills. So you learn a lot sitting next to Doug. I can tell you that from sitting next to him. Evan's been doing this for years. He's won Pulitzer Prizes already with the AP. They do their job. Photojournalists run to the action without thinking too much about putting their lives in the line. You have to get the shot. That's what they do. It's fascinating. You also don't have an argument from anybody that cell phones and the quality of images from those are going to take away jobs from photographers. They're not. True photojournalists with proper gear or any gear in their hands better than a phone. They're going to get the job done. The new modern technology that's inside of these cameras is allowing these photographers to hold the camera up and have the IAF go exactly where it needs to go. It's insane and it's incredible. So let's start with the Evan Vucci's photo. This, to me, is the Pulitzer Prize-winning photo over Doug's. Doug, I'm sure there's other photos that Doug got. This is a defiant shot. You got the blood. You're breaking it down. The blood coming out of the face, the ear, the Secret Service trying to get out. You have just the bottom of the flag. And I'm just trying to look at the differences in height. And I don't know the differences in height here. I'm going to have to ask Evan about this. When I do get him, is like, did you notice the flag? And I think he said this in the Guardian article, that he saw the flag there, and that, giving you that slightly lower angle, makes this image the winning shot, or an image from his collection, the one that probably will win the Pulitzer because he went down. Now, he's using an A9 III. I don't know if he had pre-shooting on. Don't know if he did. I don't know, was he shooting 30 frames, 120 frames, what he was doing. I will ask the technical stuff when I get him on. The stuff was directly transmitting from his phone. So he had that happening, or transmitting from the camera. Still, incredible wherewithal to get the composition and to be able to run towards it, find the different angles. They moved together. The photographers moved not too differently from each other. They know what they're doing. They also work together, because the one guy's taller, so he's going up a little higher than the other guys who are going down. I mean, this is just what you do in those areas. You work together as best as possible to stay out of each other's way, because you all are there to do the job. You are documenting history. Those shots ring out, you get the shot. You try to get the shot. I understand it's not the easiest thing. This, to me, is the winning shot for oh so many reasons. I believe he was using a 24-70 2.8, around 2.8. I'm not sure what his exact settings were for this from a shutter speed standpoint, but I do know that Doug had multiple cameras. Doug shoots with A1s because the AP has a deal with Sony, so they shoot Sony. I believe the New York Times, Doug can choose what he wants to shoot with, and he chose Sony. And this photo with the bullet going by this isn't a high-res image here from me. Now, he shot this, I'm pretty sure, with the A1 at 1/8,000th of a second. I don't know how many frames per second, and I believe it said it was a 24 millimeter, and I believe it said f1.6. I saw the metadata, but regardless of that, I believe this would be cropped quite a bit to bring you in. I'm sure the original is much sharper than this. This might be just a grab from somewhere, and then I grabbed it. Again, newsworthy. We can talk about these images. The fact that and of course, someone put a circle around it, so it's not the original. This is insane. I wonder if they both can win. I wonder if all of these photographers can win for what they've done. But if you have to choose a winning shot, the one with the flag, the defiant fist pump, the blood and everything, to me, the one with the flag is the winner. From a sheer luck standpoint, this is incredible. Now, let me talk about luck for a second. Is it luck? Doug said he heard shots. He started shooting pictures, photographing, whatever. He started firing away with photos. And you get lucky sometimes. But it's not like pure luck. It's preparation and experience meet the luck. They make it happen. He was in the right place. He was shooting away. He was doing what he does as a photojournalist, and he captured this insane historic image. Literally the bullet going by. And to be honest with you, you look at this in a different context and the bullet is going through. I just thought about this. He's capturing a totally different image if the bullet is an inch over. He would have gotten an image of, I'm not even going to say it because YouTube will probably block me for saying it. He would have gotten that image that of the bullet in a different spot and other stuff happening out the other side. That would have been horrifically insane. Okay, so we get that out. Now let's talk about this. I believe this one is cropped in a little tighter. Yes, this definitely isn't the full one. I didn't pull it. This is what I pulled. Incredible. Getting down low, photographing through the legs, finding the image, exposing, composing, keeping your composure, and getting the shot from Moneymaker. shooting Getty, photographing for Getty, would be using a Canon. Not sure what Canon. This is photojournalism, everybody. This is what photojournalists do. They are not going to be replaced by robots and AI and other cameras. There's only a few places and things that the human will not be replaced in this situation is this. Because an AI camera, for now, is not moving around, finding those angles, being able to react in a situation and move. Robots aren't going to do that right now. They're not. Photojournalists put their life on the line to get the shot. They all did that. They all didn't run the other way. They went towards the action. They went towards the image, where the images were going to be made. They knew they needed to capture it for history. That's their job. And yes, it's a harrowing, difficult situation to be in. Remember, most people in the public are not sitting here talking about what camera was used, what settings were used, how did they do it for this and that. They're talking about photos. Photos and photojournalism is going to live on. It's not going anywhere. Insane that these photographers captured what they did. Fantastic job from all of them on site. Evan, Doug, Anna, Javin. Unbelievable. You did what your job is to document history regardless of what side of the coin you're on. They aren't there as partisan observers. They are there to capture the moments. These photographers photograph on all sides of the aisle. They are sent on assignment to do it. And also, you never know when something's going to happen. That is the crazy thing. There's no time off. Anytime you're out there, something can happen. They were in the place when something happened. They did what they needed to do to capture it. From a photographic standpoint, I applaud them, and that's where I'm going to leave this, guys. This is about photography, capturing the moment, nothing else, okay? That's what we're talking about. Thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, FronosPhoto.com. See ya.